Welcome back, Birds fans. It has been a few days. My apologies. It's been one of those weeks, and I was doing so well there for a while, getting into a groove. But we're back, and we got to talk about one of maybe our favorite topics, I'm sure. Let me put it to you as a question. Is there anything worse with Philly sports than Philly media, right? Our media absolutely sucks. They hate the fans. They hate the teams. They like to do nothing but cause problems. It is absolutely wild. And then, unfortunately, I think a lot of players conflate the way the local media treats them with the way the fans are as well, which then cause problems because they kind of start resenting the fans. And it's absolutely crazy, right? And we've got Jeff Kerr. I'm sure a lot of you know that name, who put this out recently, and he thought he would, well, I don't want to be harsh and say lie, but being that he does this for a living, I would think he would be able to do a little bit of research and know what's going on. And so, yeah, I mean, it kind of is a lie because he's attacking the fans for their hate, as you can see with the title here, toward AJ Brown, which is, of course, absurd. AJ Brown hate is over the top for all he contributed to Eagles. Brown is one of the best receivers in franchise history. Yes, although longevity, I think, helps with that a little bit. I mean, he's here, what, 5 years, 4 years, 4 years, right? I don't know if that's going to be long enough to go back in history. And then the other thing, which of course Jeff doesn't talk about it, is we know the way the NFL is played nowadays. It's so offensive oriented, it's so pass oriented that you can't tell me that guys like, I don't know, Harold Carmichael in playing in today's game wouldn't rack up massive seasons as well, right? It talks about AJ Brown being the only Eagles receiver in franchise history to have four 1,000-yard seasons. Yeah, well, you know what? Devontae Smith has three, and he's done them while AJ Brown has done them. What would Devontae Smith's numbers look like if there weren't AJ Brown? And by the way, and you could say, oh, well, there might be less because he had AJ on the other side. Well, you got to flip it. Would AJ's numbers be as dominant as they are if we didn't have Devontae Smith on the other side? And by the way, the threat of Jalen Hurts, the dual threat at quarterback as well. But anyway, I'm getting off topic a little bit because we want to talk about the hit piece here by Jeff on us the fans. Welcome back to the channel, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Do me a favor if you're enjoying the content, make sure you like the video. Just take a second and click whatever it is on the like button because it's the big signal to YouTube that says, hey, you know what? Other people might want to see this video as well. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate that as well. We're closing in on, well, I think we're fewer than 200 now from 2,000, which is kind of cool. So let's get into this. Not long ago, it was laughable the Philadelphia Eagles would possess a 1,000-yard wide receiver. Well, we had some bad years. It wasn't just the wide receivers. We had some bad years from a talent perspective. It happens, okay? Plenty of wide receivers suited up. That's true, but we didn't do a great job. Macklin was a good receiver. Avant was a good receiver. But yeah, Brown had 4,000-yard seasons, three All Pros. But again, Devontae Smith had 3,000-yard receiving seasons. And as I think I pointed out in another video, the one year he didn't, where he had eight something, if I have this right, he averaged more yards per game than he did in one of his 1,000-yard seasons. He just missed a few games because of injury that year. So here's where I have an issue with the media, and this isn't the first time I saw this, which is why I wanted to talk about it. He goes on to say 5,034 receiving yards in 4 seasons, the most over a 4-year stretch for any player in franchise history. Again, I put a little bit of an asterisk to that just because, well, one, they're playing 17 games, but also it's just that's the era of football that we were in, right? Again, I mean, and I was too young, right? So it's not like, oh, they were my guys, but guys like, I'm thinking of the Steelers team that won 4 Super Bowls, John Stallworth and Lynn Swann playing together. Could you imagine putting them on a team with today's offenses with like Josh Allen or Matthew Stafford or, hey, I don't know, Jalen Hurts, right? The way AJ Brown and Devontae Smith did. So he talks about AJ having these good seasons. So why all the dislike on social media? Why all the ridicule for a player whose time with the Eagles has run its course for both Brown and the Eagles? So here's the problem, and it says social media has spoken for Brown, which is unfair. There was no hate. Okay, this is absurd, Jeff. You're acting like a child. Eagles fans were all in on AJ Brown. They defended AJ Brown for a long time. It was AJ Brown with his behavior and his cryptic messages, again, which we defended for a long time. And again, for me and a lot of other people, and I don't think it gets talked about enough, is the fact that he quit on this Eagles team this season. The absolute biggest no no, period, in sports, more so in Philly probably than other places. He dropped passes because the effort wasn't there. He complained and screamed on the sideline, then goes out and drops a perfect touchdown pass. He wasn't getting open. He was stopping his routes. Right. I've shown video on that in the past. So it wasn't that AJ Brown was this model citizen and it's just time is up, time to move on. No, AJ Brown did this by acting that way. AJ Brown did this with his cryptic messages and his childish behavior, and he wants out. He got paid tons of money. He caught tons of passes. I mean, he's like top 5 in the league in the last 4 years in like yards, targets, receptions, like all of those things. I don't know how he thinks he's going to get more production elsewhere. The fact that that wasn't enough for him and going to 2 Super Bowls and winning a Super Bowl, and he's going to shit all over us. Yeah, it is. And get all that money that he made. Yeah, it is time to say, AJ, don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out. Sorry, Jeff. The fans didn't do this first. The fans are reacting to AJ Brown. That's just simply the way it is. So for you to sit here and write a hit piece and trash the fans as if AJ Brown is some angel who did nothing wrong is absurd. One thing I will give him credit for is at least he mentioned that I think is important to keep in mind too. He said there are signs of Brown's decline. I agree. He's had issues with his legs. He's 29. He did not create the separation this season. Although, again, I guess it's hard to track that completely because of the lack of effort from A.J. Brown as well. But he certainly did not get open this season in ways he did in the past. Okay. So I think he had his best years behind him. Now, he may get what he wants, right? If he gets traded to the Patriots and they're like, hey, all our passes have to go to A.J. Brown. He's the number one target on every play. You know, he may get 15, 16, 1,800 yards, 11 touchdowns, and the Patriots go 8 and 9 and don't make the playoffs. But that would be okay with A.J. Brown. That's the thing. That would be okay with A.J. Brown. He talks about how it's expected that A.J. will be traded after June 1st. He's been frustrated for a while, blah, blah, blah. Kicking Brown out the door while he's leaving isn't the answer. The Eagles would move on. What do you, what is the purpose of this article other than for you to get on your soapbox, get your nose in the air and condescendingly lecture so you can pat yourself on the back and feel better as if you're a superior, more moral human being because the fans are tired of AJ's behavior and of like, hey, you don't want to be here? Fine, get the hell out. Pretty normal human behavior, Jeff. I'm just saying. And for me, I've accepted it. I'm at that point where, yeah, we're going to move into June. AJ Brown's gone. I'm excited to see what all these receivers that we've brought in can do. I'm excited to see what kind of system the new OC puts into play. I know Jalen Hurts is working hard. Devontae Smith is working hard. I'm excited to close the door on the AJ Brown saga and see what we've got going forward. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. As always, appreciate you watching so much. Smash the like button if you're enjoying the content. Subscribe as well. I'll talk to you all in the